What's crack-a-lackin', homies, Overtime Nation? We're live on Fans First Sports Network YouTube, sitting back in the building with the homies Overtime. We talked a little football chatter and all whatever else with the AFC, with the Bengals and the Steelers. We're going to get into some more football talk here in a second, but before I do all of that, make sure you like, subscribe, and share with every person that you know concerning the Homies Overtime podcast. Get it out there with Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. And then we'll check you on the other side because we appreciate all the chat generals for real. I'm sitting back with my fellas. B-Dirt, what's crack-a-lackin', bro? What's going on with you, man?
I had to do a little bit of a uniform change here for the Overtime show. Detroit Tigers had their opening day, home opener today. Mm-hmm. Your first place, Detroit Tigers. Just wanted to throw that out there. I don't know. Anybody else on here can say that their team in first place? Mm-hmm.
Heck no, we big trash right now.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, big trash right now, but we're going to be all right, though.
All right. Pirates had their opener today, too.
Pirates trash.
And it was sleet, snowy, and whatever. But I like that Jones kid that threw for them today. I think he's going to be a stud, man. I like him.
They garbage.
I think they got a 4-2 record. It's a little bit better than the Phillies.
Yeah. It's going to be 500 here in a minute. Just hold tight.
All right.
Just hold tight. Tim Lyons, man. Guest in the building, feeling for payday. He's in them streets. What's up with you, Tim?
I'm just repping the STL, baby. You know, I know we're only 4-4. And you said we were going to be big trash this year.
Big trash Cardinals, too.
So,
big trash.
Yeah, hey, and the Phillies is going to join us as well. Thank you for having me on the show.
The Phillies ain't joining nobody, buddy. We going to the playoffs. Y'all ain't going to smell no part of the playoffs. Okay. Just remember that.
You bring
Tay Boy Fresh. Yeah. Tay Boy Fresh, man. I know you braggadocious about your Cincinnati Reds right now, but what's cracking with you, bro? What's going on?
Man, I don't got nothing to brag about, man. These jokers down in the top of the ninth, 3-1 to the Mets. When last I looked at it, was 1-0 Reds. Now we done did the first show and they done found a way to fall behind. Mm-hmm. So, but they are 4-2. Currently could go to 4-3. I hope not. Hope they come back and win in the ninth. But I couldn't look at it because it's on Apple TV, and I got Apple TV, but I didn't program it to this TV, and I don't know the password. Now we already started the podcast and stuff, so really couldn't have the wife come in here and do it. But yeah, man. And the Pirates are 6-2.
That's what Dresden said. They still big trash. I don't care what you say. They big trash. They ain't played nobody. They played the Washington, whatever the team is. The
Miami
Nationals,
Marlins.
they garbage. Yeah, they Marlins and the Washington Nationals. They garbage. Them teams, them teams ain't gonna win 50 games.
They played Baltimore today.
I do need to come clean here. Maybe do a little repent, if I may. Last week I said, when you talk about March Madness, you immediately think about the men's teams and the men's games or whatever. Mm-hmm. Nah, I'm back. I'm on the team women's now. I was one of those 12 million people that watched that game last week. I'm watching the women's Final Four right now.
Yeah,
I don't even care about the men's. I don't even know who plays and when.
Dang, you don't kick them to the curb.
Yeah, man. They got me. They hooked me. This Paige Beckers versus Caitlyn Clark is what I'm all in for right now.
Yeah, I listen. I was telling you what, but see, I got some big bias though, because like I said, my daughter played high school basketball, and I fell in love with it years and years ago. But the women's game, but that's our first topic. That's our first topic. Our first topic is to talk a little bit about the NCAA tournament, the women's game, and one particular player, Caitlyn Clark. All right, has Caitlyn Clark changed the narrative for women's college athletics? Not just basketball. Has she changed the narrative? Because there's other players. There's Juju, there's Reese, there's a lot of them out there, that are actually very good players. But Caitlyn Clark is still like the LeBron James above, the one that can change everything. So has she changed the narrative? Any of y'all can start, any of y'all can answer, any of y'all can chime in.
So Caitlyn Clark has revolutionized the game. I mean, and she did it by simply watching and patterning her game after Steph Curry. From a woman's perspective, that's who she plays like. You know, the other women for years go back to Cheryl Miller, you know, Katie Smith from Ohio State, go to Shamika Holdsclaw, a lot of Lisa Leslie, you know,
Cheryl Swoops.
Cheryl Swoops, Parker, Candace Parker. There's been a lot of different great women, but they was all tap, 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 tapping on the door. Caitlyn Clark came up and said, "Ladies, hold my beer." And she kicked that thing down, man. So big props go out to Caitlyn Clark, man. She has the only woman athlete that I think, this is my personal opinion, that has done equally as much for their game and for women's sports as Serena Williams.
Wow. That's saying a lot. That's saying a whole lot, Tay-Boy Fresh. B-Dirt, I want to get your perspective, man, because you said you done swung the gate closed. You said you done kicked the NCAA men's players to the corner. You just said, go kick rocks, and you locked in on these women. So what you got, man?
It's just been more compelling. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that, you know, the basketball hasn't been good on the men's side. I thought it actually has for the most part, but it's just more compelling story. And then you got the whole thing like right now, you know, we're getting ready to tip off Iowa versus UConn. Caitlyn Clark said she waited around her whole senior year for one call from Gino to go to UConn. And she never got it. And now she's playing in the Final Four against UConn. Like I just like the backstories behind it. And then you had Oriema saying you know, he thought Paige Beckers was the best player in the country this year. And like, yeah, that backstory. It's just the stories are playing out. And the whole time you're doing that, quietly, the defending national champion is over there just assassinating everybody. And not even like front part of the story. Yeah, South Carolina. It's not even the front part of the story. It's an afterthought that they're undefeated and just won a Final Four game by like 20-some points.
Yeah.
It's compelling. It's compelling television on top of sports and athletics. I think the backstories, the stories are more prevalent. The stars are more prevalent. And kudos to them, man. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Tim, so same question, but I'm gonna say it based on something B-Dirt just said. I think in our time, when we were younger, in those late 80s, early 90s, that's what drove the narrative for college basketball for us. We're guys that's used to that whole Big East. We're used to when the Big Ten, when they had the Fab Five and Ohio State's team, and Big Dog Glenn Robinson was there, and we knew the names of the players, right?
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but it's going to be hard-pressed for me to name 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guys in college basketball. But I can run probably about 10 names right off the top of my head in women's college basketball. So is what B-Dirt's saying, the narrative is being pushed forward concerning, you know, understanding and recognize who these players are and they're sellable? Is that your perspective? Is that what's making the women's game either catch up and surpass the men's game?
I think what Caitlyn Clark is doing for women's basketball, college basketball, is astonishing. You know, she is playing lights out basketball across the men and women's basketball in college right now. She is the, you know, the GOAT right now of women's college basketball, you know, and she's even overshadowing men's basketball. You know, but I think the thing is, it needs to happen here with this Caitlyn Clark narrative, or you think it's going to change the narrative. I hope it just doesn't change the narrative for women's basketball. You know, we always see the narratives for men's football. You know, we all know what's going on with football, you know, but what's going on with women's, you know, NCAA softball or, you know, these other sports, because women in the pro world, you know, we look at WNBA or soccer. That's it. That's really or tennis. You know, there's tennis and there's the track and field. But when it comes to college for women, they're kind of like the lost sung heroes of women's college sports, that is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm hoping that with Caitlin Clark, everything that she's doing and being the face of NCAA women's basketball, or even the sports for college period, I hope that opens up the door for the other women's sports as well, because, you know, it's not just one sport. You know, women are women and they deserve all the recognition that, you know, they do on a day-to-day basis. But when it comes to college sports, it's kind of like women, you know, we don't see anything else besides women's basketball. And I hope Caitlin Clark opens up that door for them.
Amen. Claude Bishop, he said the women's game will never be as good as the men's, and I'm not a sexist. I don't know if I agree with that, but matter of fact, I know I don't agree with that. But Tate, Beater, Tim, your reaction to what Claude said, bro?
Which part do you disagree with, the first part or the second part?
Me, both.
You think Claude's sexist? Okay.
No, I'm not saying Claude's sexist.
Oh, wait. Okay. My bad.
So in totality, the comment. I think the women's game can catch it and pass it. That's just me.
I don't know if it can pass it. It can get up too. The women play a more fundamentally sound game than the men do. They just lack the athleticism that the men have because they're men. But they play just as good, if not better, basketball. You know?
That's big facts.
I read a story about athletes. That's why the title of the show is Transcendent Collegiate Athletes that didn't make it. Caitlin Clark will change the narrative. Because there was this thing about you got to go back to some athlete as transcended as Caitlin Clark has been the past 2 or 3 years in women's college basketball. Mm-hmm. And in college sports, you go back. They had to go back 30 years for find a football player and a male basketball player. Those guys were Christian Laettner, Duke.
Yeah.
Early 90s was real big. You either loved him or hated him, but you knew about him.
Yeah, everybody knew.
Brian Bosworth.
And
Oklahoma, yeah, I like
and Tim Tebow.
Polarizing athlete, yeah.
So the thing was these athletes were very polarizing, had successful college careers. We know Laettner and Tebow won championships. Caitlin Clark is sniffing around it all the time, but she's better at female basketball than they were at their sports.
Oh, that's saying a lot, Tate.
What?
Christian Laettner was a dog at the collegiate level, not necessarily pros, but collegiate.
Is Christian Laettner the all-time leading scorer?
No, but I bet you he's Duke's best player in Duke's history. I bet you he's number one.
He might be the most accolades, you know, but the best player in Duke history, best pound for pound player is Grant Hill.
Well, yeah, we know that, but I'm saying like who the guy is. Laettner's top 5 ACC player ever based on accolades and all whatever else. He's top 5 ACC ever. Based on
his resume. Mm-hmm. But so the thing was, and I was having a discussion with some people about this. We can have it on here if we want. If you guys disagree with me, but I said the athletes become more transcendent when they're white athletes. There are transcendent black athletes, but the thing what happens when you got somebody that's dope like Caitlin Clark at basketball and she's white, all the white people jump in and follow that. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, they're not right or wrong. That's just what it is. You know. The same thing, like the whole thing the other night with the game against LSU, it was viewed as Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese, and that was kind of like back in the day when you had Magic and Bird. You know, we don't acknowledge it or hate it, but there is a race element in competition when you're competing against each other.
Yeah, as long as they don't vilify it, I don't mind it. You know, because I love the East Coast, West Coast rivalry between the Boston Celtics and the Los Angeles Lakers. I love that growing up as a kid.
Even then, though, that was Bird and McHale and them, Danny Ainge and them against Magic, Byron Scott, Cooper them. Same thing.
Yeah.
And
just don't vilify it.
It carried over from Magic versus Bird at Michigan State and Indiana State.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Peter, what you think?
It makes it fun and it makes it intense for everybody to watch.
Yeah. Peter, your perspective, man. I want to get what you think about what Tate said, man.
I do think they've definitely closed the gap. And I think they can definitely keep this relevancy and keep this projection. That said, there is something like seeing a tip pass and running out and seeing someone do a windmill dunk instead of laying it up with their left hand. Because I could lay it up with my left hand. I cannot do a windmill dunk.
Yeah.
So it's watching something that's like you don't fathom how someone can do that athletically. So I think that's always going to create a little bit of a gap that I don't know that you can close on a regular basis. This year, they got it. Congratulations, you won it. But I don't know that you can continually do that year in and year out just because of the difference in athleticism as far as wow moments or wow plays. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Caitlyn Clark's range logo shooting definitely is one of those wild things. That's why I think it gravitates as well. So I agree.
You're right. Yeah.
I agree. Tim, any final thoughts about this topic before we close it out, bro?
You know, like I haven't watched one Caitlyn Clark game at all. I've watched some tape on her. You know, I've watched some, you know, her warm-ups and how dedicated she is. But other than that, you know, I haven't really watched women's basketball. You know, men's basketball for the NCAA was something I was focusing on. And I still haven't watched a women's game yet. I probably will when the finals come. But, you know,
you should be right now.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't even know what channel it's on, to be honest with you. But
Espen.
Okay.
Espen.
But, you know, I'm happy for her. You know, I'm happy for Iowa. You know, hopefully, you know, see what happens in that game tonight.
Absolutely.
It's not real happy for Iowa right now.
No. Because UConn, listen, UConn had a plan. I haven't been paying that much attention because I'm rocking with the show right now, but I'm quite sure they came out with a zone and they blitzed Caitlyn Clark and they like almost put two on her and let somebody else got to beat me. I mean, if I'm coaching against her, that's exactly how I'm playing her. Unless I got a one-on-one player athletically can just lock her down, which I don't think there's nobody out there in college basketball. So she would get she'd get a boxing one, a triangle and two type, you know, a defense against her. I'd be chasing her all day and night. Go over the top of the screen every time. Never go under the screen every single freaking time. Absolutely.
It's 13-7 right now. B Dirt, do you know how the commercials breaks work in women's basketball?
I do not.
Yeah, I don't either. I know in men's it's, you know, every 4, 16, 12, under 12. Yeah.
All right, fellas. So we're to that time to take a commercial break on the Fans First Sports Network Homies Overtime Podcast. If you're rocking with us live on YouTube, give us a couple of minutes while we get a quick word from our partners. If you're listening to us on Podcast Land and syndication, you can catch us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you catch your podcasts. Just give us a quick commercial break for about 10 seconds, and we'll be right back with the Homies Overtime Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back in the building. Homies Overtime Podcast, Tay Boy Fresh, B-Dirt, special guest Tim Lyons, filling in for Payday because he's in them streets. Fellas, good topic with topic number one. We moving on to topic number two, man. It's a lot of stuff that's done went down. We talked about it a little bit on the Homies podcast. Stephon Diggs got traded. Of course, I knew a little bit because I had a little bit of intel. But who would have really thought that would have went down? But has this season been like some of the most banana stuff you've seen from free agent acquisition? And do you think that we're going to see massive trades come draft night or after draft night, or are teams starting to settle down and settle in their rosters? And this is like an overall conversation about the NFL. And I got a preference to that, and I'm going to ask a part two after we get through this part. Who do you really see as contenders? Even though we don't have the draft yet, who has really solidified themselves and put themselves in a catbird seat for an opportunity to, get that chip? So I'm going to kick this topic off with let me go to B Dirt first. B Dirt, trades crazy. Has this been bananas? You know, and what you think is going to happen before the draft and all whatever else across the board, not just with your team, but across the board, man.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I expect the Bengals to kind of lay low for the remainder. Maybe something on draft day, but I doubt it. But yeah, some of this stuff. I mean, just what Stephon Diggs just got traded for, and only getting a second rounder for him, and getting Stephon Diggs and they picked up all that dead cap hit money, and they actually went upside down on the cap, $3.5 million because of it. Like, I was really surprised with this. So I've been pretty surprised with several moves this offseason.
Yeah.
It's, you know, we've made the comments about it, like with us doing the podcast and stuff. There is no offseason now for the NFL. It's 24/7. There's something going on with the NFL. That's the biggest takeaway for me for it. There's always somebody working a deal, working the next move, who they're going to trade for, cut, you know, recruit, whatever. There's always something going on.
Yeah, big facts, man. I mean, that for them to see as this, I've never seen a team go upside down on a receiver. They ate the whole 31 and they said, bro, you get a 1-year deal with us and you can walk next year. Yeah. Who would have thought that I mean, man, come on. Who does that? You know, so you know, that's Diggs, but it's been other stuff too. So Tim, your off-season NFL stuff that you've seen so far, the NFL, how it's rolling, the free agency acquisitions, the draft. Are we setting ourselves up for, you know, kicking it off on the 25th of April man, this is going to be like a bananas draft. We don't know what's going to happen. Or are we settling into like, okay, teams are figuring out who they are, what they are, stuff like that, bro?
You know, I think we're going to see some, you know, some possible, you know, trade ups and all stuff. But as a Cincinnati Bengals fan, speaking on our half, Bengals aren't trading up. We normally don't. We've had that conversation before, but you know, it's been a good draft for a lot of teams. You know, some shocking drafts like Fields going to the Steelers. You know, it's people are, you know, right now they've filled in. They picked that free agency list of the top players or their number one needs. And like I said before, you know, right now we're going to see this plateau of free agents being signed, and we might see some trades during the actual draft, but we'll probably see more free agency signings after. It's been a crazy free agency just to see of what's going on and who's signing who. You know, with you know, like Brandon just said about Diggs. You know, it was a low draft pick for next year.
Yeah, facts.
You know, and I know everybody's questioning on, well, Diggs got traded. Is T next? You know I see that in the media. You know, they're trying to push this as T next thing, and you know, it's been a good free agency. It really has. But I'm looking forward to seeing what draft night brings for us in 20 days.
So we got a couple really good Steelers questions over here in the comments. We
have
one up with Claude Bishop here. Says, I believe that DJ trade might come back to hurt the Steelers. Rob Lightfoot right after that put, did you guys hear Pittsburgh and Dallas might do a trade with Pittsburgh for Lamb from Dallas for some picks?
I heard that. I heard Jay Tuck. Shout out to Jay Tuck with the Dallas Cowboy podcast. I heard Jay Tuck say that. So like that ain't me starting no rumor. I heard that. So like, and if anybody would know, he would know that Lamb wants out of there. And I was like, because they're going to hit the reset button. So look, anything can happen. Anything. And oh God, if we get CeeDee Lamb, it's over. It's over. Cancel Christmas.
And George Pickens together.
Cancel Christmas. It's over. You know, so Tay Boy Fresh, your perspective on this bananas offseason, which, you know, you had a Tate Stradamus thing in there because you kept saying Rusty's the fifth in Steeler Nation. But it's been a lot of stuff going on. Smoke screens everywhere. Guys getting traded, your perspective on this offseason and just how bananas will it get in 20 days?
I talked about Russ and Justin Fields, so it wasn't a surprise to me, Tim.
Big facts.
I think, man, to answer the question, let me say what I heard. I heard the Steelers might trade Najee to Dallas. That was the talk I heard.
Heard that too.
But I don't want to do that, and I don't want no receiver. We got to turn around and pay $25 million.
Mm-hmm.
We can just draft a good one and then pay Pickens in 2 years.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, BG, you said what teams are contenders?
Yeah. So that's the second part of my question. Yeah.
So my answer to the question is, there's a lot of contenders in the AFC, man. The entire North.
The entire North, even the Browns?
Even the Browns.
Tate.
The Browns got to win a record. They had one last year, went to the playoffs. Yeah. Deshaun Watson come back and put the KY jelly down and grip the football. They're going to be all right.
No Diddy, no doubt. Yeah.
You know?
And they added Jared Judy too, you know, so.
And the Bengals getting Burrow back. Lamar Jackson going to find a way. I think Russ got something he want to come out and show people. So that's the whole AFC North. Mm-hmm. In the East, I think Josh Allen is not Dak Prescott. He lost Stephon Diggs, but Josh Allen is a force multiplier. Whoever they bring in there, he gonna make better. They're gonna go more 12 personnel with Knox and is it
Kincaid.
Kincaid. They'll go more 12 personnel. They're gonna lean on James Cook more. Mm-hmm. They're gonna draft a receiver in the first, and Buffalo gonna be all right.
Jets.
I hear a lot about the Jets, but there's all these dudes on TV, these Jets fans, man. Your boy Carton on the Carton Morning Show on FS1, and then the other Jets fan that's always on TV is the boy that's with Colin Kaepernick. Greeny too, yeah, Greeny too.
He a closet with any be dirt, straight closet.
Who closet?
No, it'll come out. Greeny's comes out.
He comes out. Okay, yeah.
No, Greeny always on the Jets. You just reminded me of him.
Stu Gotts.
I was talking about
listening to the Levitard show. He's on there. He's a Jets fan.
And they hype about Aaron Rodgers coming back. We don't know what he's going to do, what he's going to bring. Mm-hmm. And they got picked up some old tackles, and they picked up off-injured Mike Williams at receiver.
Yeah, they did.
So I don't know what to think. I mean,
Miami
is going to take a step back, but still,
Houston,
I think is king of that division now. But Trevor Lawrence got something to say about it. Between them two, Houston and Jacksonville, and then you go to the West. You still got Pat Mahomes. I'm not worried about Denver. I think Antonio Pierce get the Raiders to play, but at the end of the day, I don't know if they're a contender. Mm-hmm. And the other team over there I'm missing is the Chargers.
Harbaugh, yeah.
Harbaugh will have them right, but they lost all their receivers too, and Austin Eckler.
Mm-hmm. They lost both starting wide receivers and starting running back. But Harbaugh's a wild card. Ain't no telling what he's going to do.
He ain't going to lose.
That's big facts. That's the one thing he ain't going to do.
He's 9-8 at worst.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think about 10 out of 14 teams, 9 out of 14 teams in the AFC are competing for them 7 playoff spots. Mm-hmm. The only team I think you just say you giving the playoff spot to is Kansas City again. They gonna make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So by saying all that, since we talked about the overall beater, Tim, what team is taking a step backwards? Man, you don't know what the heck's going on with their organization. Was a playoff team, and you man, come on, bro, what are y'all doing?
I can answer that, right? You know what?
Bills,
it's
me.
The Buffalo Bills. Yeah, the Bills. I know Tate said something about that Josh Allen was going to make whatever wide receiver that they bring in a superstar, or make him look good, or whatever he's going to produce. But as of right now, on paper, the Buffalo Bills look non-existent.
They've lost Lyman. They've lost Stephon Diggs.
They lost multiple defensive players as well to free agency.
Be there. You up on this stuff? Tell me right now who the favorite to win the AFC East right now?
Jets.
Really, with the money?
They not. It's not Jets. It's the Bills.
I think the Dolphins have a better chance than the Bills do.
I was asking about from Vegas, B Dirt, not from.
Oh. Let's look at AFC Championship odds.
So like we talking about the AFC, but I think there's a team over in that dang on NFC. There's some big trash right now going on that I think that I don't listen.
We don't know what they're doing.
The Cowboys I don't even think the Cowboys gonna make the playoffs. That's how trash they are right now.
Ma gonna put hands on you, Big G.
I don't care nothing about Mod and his trash Cowboys. I don't think they gonna make the playoffs. I really think that they done put all this thing on Dak, and they saying because Jerry ain't gonna give him no bread, and they gonna push him on out. They done tied him to that coach, and I think there's a secret plan afoot.
Hey, Big
for
G.
Cowboys Nation.
Big G. Mm-hmm. This comment up right now said nobody ever. What Steeler Wade just said.
Nobody ever where?
You don't see the comment?
No, I don't see it. Steeler Wade said, preach Claude. Oh, right. Never Claude. Matrix Claude. Matrix.
Steeler Wade said nobody ever. I don't even know what Claude said, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
Claude, by the way, Claude has been on here, has been talking about Juju for, I don't know, the past 15 minutes.
To come back to Pittsburgh?
Yes. And Steeler Wade show says press like.
Big fact.
Thank you for the podcast, not for Claude.
Claude's trying to talk Afton into it. Said Afton, Juju had over 900 yards on those knees last year with a terrible quarterback.
No, just stay away. We don't need Juju in Pittsburgh. No, heck no.
Steeler Wade said, give me Juju.
No, we don't want Juju. There's a reason he's out of there. There's a reason he's out of there.
The Buffalo Bills and the Dallas Cowboys have the exact odds of winning their conference championship.
You got to be kidding me.
No. Both of them are plus 700. Jets are plus 1,100.
There's no freaking way that the Dallas Cowboys are going to win that. Dallas is man, they are big trash.
Hey, G, put your bias aside for a minute. And I'm sure you know what, you probably said the same thing last year.
It's
Dallas
more fun with it, though.
Big trash.
It is.
And they still made the playoffs, didn't they?
Who's they starting running back?
Who's in the NFC? Let's just think about
the
that.
Philadelphia Eagles Eagles with Saquon Barkley.
Okay.
The same team they had last year, and they had Saquon Barkley.
In the NFC, San Francisco's going to be there still.
Yep.
Philadelphia's going to be there still.
Detroit.
I think Detroit's going to be
the ones that are. So it's 49ers, Lions, Eagles, Cowboys are tied at plus 700.
All four of them?
No. 49ers are plus 250, Lions plus 550. Then the Eagles and Cowboys are both 700. Packers are 850. Falcons are 1,000. And pay Chicago Bear plus 1,400.
There's no freaking way. They need to go out to Vegas and assassinate some people, bro. This stuff is crazy, man. There's no freaking way.
Hey, man, you gonna get us an FCC violation, man.
We ain't gonna get fined. This is ridiculous. Somebody out in Vegas is playing games. Because there's no freaking way that the Chicago Bears is that high and the Cowboys.
Vegas knows people bets on the Cowboys. Period. And the Bears are going to be better. The Bears won 7 games last year. The Bears could win around 8 or 9 games. I get the Bears 9 games this year.
The Bears is going to finish 3rd in their division. They ain't going to be better than Detroit. They ain't going to be better than Detroit, and they ain't going to be better than Green Bay. They're going to finish 3rd in their division.
They're going to be better. I'm with this. Be dirt. Put a receipt on this, but I remember this. I'm not going to remember when and the timestamp and everything. I'm going to know Big G said Chicago going to finish 3rd in the division.
3rd. Oh, yeah. I'll put a timestamp on that one.
I got it.
They ain't better than Green Bay or Detroit.
So you're going to put all that on Caleb Williams' shoulders his rookie year, he's gonna win 9 games and 3rd in the division.
Big facts.
What did CJ Stroud just do? He won his division.
He ain't CJ Stroud.
He ain't CJ Stroud though.
I remember
CJ Stroud.
I'm not even. You know what? I'm not even an Ohio State fan.
Stroud wasn't CJ Stroud.
CJ Stroud, he's a whole different breed.
Yeah, he ain't. And I'm telling you, they finishing 3rd.
He's a rookie quarterback that won. He could compete with
look who he.
Jordan.
Hold on. But hold on a second. But think about this. Look who CJ Stroud had as a coach. Look who Caleb Williams is going to have as a coach.
That's true.
Big trash coach.
You see what I'm saying? We can't compare what CJ Stroud did this year and what Caleb Williams is going to do this coming year. I think Caleb Williams would have better luck with
CJ Stroud.
Ryan's
3,400 yards. 20.
He missed what? 4 games
and 5 interceptions.
Yep.
Did he miss 4? Or did he miss 2 or 3?
I think he missed 3.
I thought it was, anyways, 3 or 4 games, and he almost broke the record for a rookie quarterback.
He was on pace, but you don't think Caleb can do something similar?
Now with the Bears organization, there's a reason why Justin Fields wanted out of Chicago.
Big facts.
So it don't matter. Like you could draft Caleb Williams number 1 or JJ McCarthy or Jaden Daniels is number 1, and they're still going to have a hard time.
Change everything up. They got Caleb Williams weapons. Justin Fields didn't have. He had DJ Moore for 1 season. He didn't have Keenan Allen. He's not going to have probably a 1st-round receiver. He's not going to have DeAndre Swift. He got better line. I mean, they're better. Chicago's better now, and they got a defense.
So my question is to you what was the San Diego Chargers or Los Angeles Chargers, whatever the hell they call it, the Chargers, what was their record last year with Keenan Allen?
Garbage.
What was the record before? What was their record the year before that with Keenan Allen? Keenan Allen's getting older too.
He's getting older, but he's a mature receiver in the room that can be a player to lean on in the receiver room for a young quarterback. You got to value that kind of stuff, man.
So then, okay. So if that's the situation,
is Keenan Allen better than St. Brown's brother that played for Detroit? Yes. Yeah. Is he better than Darnell Mooney still? Yes. Yeah. And whoever the
well, that's because the Bears had no. Okay, so like this is one thing I've been trying to understand, and I still don't understand. If the Chicago Bears were so concerned about making improvements to that team, and Justin Fields already knew the team and already knew what the expectations were, then why get rid of Justin Fields to bring a rookie in to an organization because they've improved it? I can put hold on. Just let me finish. Just let me finish my point for a second. I can go buy a car, a $500 car, and put $5,000 rims on them. It don't mean it's going to make it run any better.
You want me to answer the question now?
Now you go ahead. Yeah,
they're rebuilding still, and they wanted to reset the rookie clock. Caleb Williams is supposed to be a generational talent. And there's no way they could pass on CJ Stroud 1 year and Caleb Williams the next year. They couldn't do that, period. That's why.
But they were cooked either way. Because if Caleb Williams don't get them to the playoffs, they're going to fire the coaches anyway.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Ryan Poles and whatever the coach name is could be cooked if they don't show some progress.
Yeah.
But the next coach going to come in and he going to work with Caleb Williams. But that's why they couldn't pass on C.J. Stroud and Caleb Williams back-to-back years.
Yeah, they were some fools to passing up Stroud the first year. That's on them. That was the idiot move.
And that's the thing is though, CJ and Caleb are two different quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. I don't believe that Caleb is better than CJ, and I don't believe that Caleb is even close to CJ.
I'm a CJ Stroud fan, so I'm not going to talk CJ. But I think one thing I know for sure is we will see. We'll see.
We will. Oh, we'll definitely see. The Bears have no other choice.
Mm-hmm. All right, fellas, we're going to wrap up this segue off of the Homies Overtime. We're going to take a quick commercial break, get a word from our partners, come back with some NBA basketball talk. If you're watching us live on YouTube, give us about 10-second pause as we pay some bills, get a word from our partners. If you're listening to us on audio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to your audio podcasts, we'll be right back with the Homies Overtime with B-Dirt, Tape Boy Fresh, and special guest Tim Lyons from the Running Through the Jungle podcast. Give us like 10. And we're back with the Homies Overtime podcast on Fans First Sports Network. Man, we just had a real good conversation and segue about that football. And I know we could go on for days about who's gotten better, who's gotten worse, who's done this, who's gotten that. Great information, great topic, great conversation concerning the NFL. But fellas, you know how we get out on overtime. We got to cover all the sports and all the issues. So now we to that NBA, fellas. The NBA playoffs is about 8 days. I think it starts the 15th of April, the play-in games, 16th of April, something like that, the play-in games. We're real close, right? So is the playoffs taking shape? Because I looked in the Western Conference standings yesterday, and from like 5 to like 9, if you drop a game or two out of 4, you could be in the play-in from the 5 seed. So
and the Clippers are sliding too.
Oh, yeah. B-Dirt, I ain't mad at you for that one, for sure. So is it taking shape, or do we still have pandemonium and chaos going on? There's some critical games tonight on the schedule. I think the Mavericks play the Golden State Warriors or something like that. Something like that is tonight. So yeah, it's starting to, but we know who the best team in the league is as far as record and wins and losses. That's the Boston Celtics. But I want to get you guys' thoughts and perspective on what you're going to see concerning the NBA playoffs this year. Tape Boy Fresh, you know, we do that. That's Rather Cavaliers, Cleveland Cavaliers podcast on Fans First. So I want to get your basketball knowledge and perspective with this one, bro.
So what's the question exactly?
The question is, are they taking shape, or is there going to be some shaking it out? Or
the win Golden State got last night over Houston made sure they secure in the play-in.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the top 10 in each conference is in. Now you might have some wiggle room with 5, 6
seeding
like that, but the 10 is in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm looking right now. The Hawks is at 10 in the East, and they 6 games ahead of the Nets, who's the next closest, for 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you go to the Western Conference, the Warriors win last night, just put them 4 full games in front of the Rockets with 6 to play.
Yeah.
You know, I think the question is, the Suns are tied with the Pelicans. The Suns are in 6th. The Pelicans, they have the same record. Must be a head-to-head thing. Mm-hmm. So that can flip. And the Kings at 8, only 1 game back. And the Lakers are 1.5 games back. So that 6, 7, 8, 9 in the West can certainly change.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. B-Dirt, who you liking, what you seeing? Like I said, it's pivotal. You think some teams going to be in and out? What you think, bro?
I've been saying it, and I know it started as a little bit of a little in jest with you, but Mavericks, man, playing good. They've been playing good the past couple of weeks. I like them coming together. I like some of the shooting pieces they got around. I think Luka's playing really well. The Lakers are starting to look pretty good.
110 out their last 11.
Yeah, LBJ turning it back on, right?
Big facts.
Who is LBJ? You mean GOAT?
They won a couple games without him there too, didn't they?
They did. Yeah. And Big G's boy Always Down been always showing up lately.
Always Down was done worked on that meniscus. He ain't trying to get hurt no more.
AR-15.
Yeah. Big facts.
I think what I'm looking forward to watching most early in the playoffs is the middle of that Eastern Conference is anyone's ball game. They're going to have some barn burner series, I think. out there. I really think, when you get Cavs through 76ers.
Oh,
So
would it be back too? Would it be back? Yeah.
3 through 8. Cavs, Knicks, Magic, Pacers, Heat, Sixers. I think any of those teams could win a series against each other at any point in time.
I'm trying, as a Cavs fan, I'm trying to avoid the 76ers. We was fighting for 2, but now let's just go ahead and just settle back at 3 because 2 got to play 7. And beating them going to win that 7-8 game, and they're going to be 7, and 2 got to play 7. Go ahead and let Milwaukee have that 2. Stop chasing them.
Duck and dodge the 76ers at all costs, huh, Tate? At all costs.
That's what I do.
Yeah, whatever it takes. Tim, what you think, man? NBA, we're getting close. Like we less than like 10 days. 10 days away or 11 days, something like that. We right here.
Yeah, like I don't watch very much NBA basketball. You guys know that. I'm not a big. I just can't. I don't know, man. I grew up in the 80s and 90s. I watched basketball then, and
we done.
I tried. I know you're done with the 80s. I know. I tried to watch basketball and kind of pay attention to what was going on. I know Houston had like a 10, 11 game win streak, going on at one time, and I see that they're still. Trying to claw their way, past Golden State, but is it going to happen or not? Probably not. I don't know. Like I just learned that you guys told me about this play-in. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? Whatever the hell it was.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys just told me about this play-in, and I was like, "What? What is this wild card game? What the hell's going on?" I'm like, "What the hell's going on here?"
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm gonna try to when the playoffs start, I'm gonna try focusing on watching some college or some NBA basketball. But other than that, I really don't have much to say. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want to be like, I'm gonna make some stuff up here, but I'm gonna try to focus on some basketball.
Just to let you know, Tim, start with the play-in games, man. They gonna be exhilarating right now.
Yeah,
you're looking at a Lakers Warriors matchup, one and done. Just like March Madness.
Yeah.
And the Pelicans Kings. I would like to see the Suns have to be in the play-in too. And the Kings, the Pelicans pass them back. But so you got Steph, LeBron, and Zion in the play-in.
Got a comment in the chat here I want to clear up. The quad father, Dennis Pavlik, said, Bronny declared for the draft. He better stay at college. He's not ready. He also entered a portal. And he did so. He did so he could keep his options open based upon where he meets with people and works out with people and they think he might get drafted. He can also stay in college and go back to school somewhere.
Big G, you got to tell that's on the list, man.
Yeah, that was our next. That's actually a great point and great segue since we got Tim's last comment. We were going to talk about the LeBron factor with Bronny because listen, I don't know about you guys. But this is the first guy that I ever seen to declare for the league, hit the portal all at the same time to try to figure out what he's going to do. Because the deal is if you get on one half of it, if you get Bronny, you get LeBron. But on the other side of it, if you get Bronny, you might get Bryce too. So could you imagine Bryce and Bronny with their dad going to a school and saying, look, we're going to change your logo from Nike to the LBJ 23. You're going to get team exclusive, this, that, and this, and all whatever else. And the NIL package, in my opinion, that's better than Shador, Shiloh Sanders with Dion. So the Bronny, the LeBron, the James family stamp on whatever he decides to do, either NBA or college, man, is a big thing. And I just want to get you guys' perspective on this because Bronny's the first guy that I remember doing this, declaring for the draft and hitting the portal at the same time. I don't recall a guy doing it.
Well, the portal ain't been around that long.
Right. At least 3 years.
He's experimenting with some new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but yeah, like whose comment was it? Because Bronny not ready. But I think it's his right. It's his right to test the waters, though. That's what he's doing. Mm-hmm. He gonna go and maybe I don't know how soon you gotta get back in college, take yourself out of the draft. I don't know if you get to play in those kind of combine NBA games in Chicago, pre-draft workouts and stuff. It's to compete in them. They gonna tell them, Bronny, you're not ready. And then, I mean, man, and Bryce just like a sophomore. We jumping way ahead, ain't we?
Nah, Bryce is a junior, will be a senior. Bryce is junior, be a senior. So you could potentially get both of them playing at the same school. They ain't that far apart. So you could get Bryce and Bronny, or you can get Bryce and Braun. I mean, like I said, I haven't seen. This is like new territory, man. You know, so B-Dirt, man, what do you think Bronny should do? What would be the smartest thing for him to do?
I mean, for him personally, I think it's staying in school. I think he needs to develop a little bit more. I don't think he's ready for the NBA, but I mean, if your dad's LeBron James and he wants to play 1 year with his son, like, I don't know. I feel like somebody will draft him, maybe not until the second round or whatever, but somebody will draft him and try to get them both on the same team. Like, I would stay if I was him.
Yeah. I think that's the package deal, and as far as the NBA is concerned. If you draft Bronny, you're getting Braun. I don't see it not happening. So, Tim, what you think, man?
You know, I think it'd be a smart idea for him to stay in school, but like you guys are all saying, if Bronny wants to go to the NBA, because I did see that today that Bronny declared for the draft, but also entered the portal. I don't know if he was just, maybe he's not happy at USC or what, but it'd probably be better for him to stay in school. Maybe he can find a different program.
Let me ask you this question, G. Let's just say you're GM of your beloved Cavaliers. Would you rather have Bronny or X on your team?
Bronny.
You'd rather him because of LBJ?
No, because athletically, I think Bronny's ceiling is higher than X. Okay. X is a good basketball player. He's shown that he can matriculate his way back to the NBA from the G League all the time. But as far as skill for skill, player for player, nah. Bronny's got that ceiling. For those of you who don't
know, X being Xavier Simpson. So from our old hometown and went to Michigan.
Yeah. I don't think, based on his current status or ranking or whatever, I don't think Bronny will ever play in the G League. I don't think he will. I think once he gets to the NBA, the player development will keep him at that level, and he'll just get better and better and better. That's what I think. I don't think he'll never see any part of the G League. But Bron, listen, and if I'm the Cavs and I got a late first round pick and don't nobody take Bronny, I'm taking him right now. Because I'm getting LeBron back in Cleveland.
That makes a lot of sense, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Tate, your final thoughts on this, man. You think that what should Bronny do, and does a team take a run at him?
Man, Bronny is ceiling is higher than X. X's ceiling. Shout out Coach Q, Xavier Simpson. X just signed a 10-day contract, I think, in Memphis.
Yeah, he is.
Yep. But back to Bronny, I think, man, and us, the media, people that talk about it, Bronny don't got no problems, man. Bronny's dad's LeBron James.
Big facts.
He can do whatever he wants, whether it be stay in school, go to the NBA. He ain't gonna miss no meals. He ain't trying to get to the league to feed his family. No, none of that. The same thing we talk about in the NFL, Marvin Harrison. You know what I mean? Oh, he ain't running the 40. Y'all gonna pick Marvin Harrison. And Marvin Harrison, whether you pick him or not, he ain't gonna miss no meals. He gonna be all right. I mean, so some of these things we get into because it's just fun to talk about. What's best for Bronny James is whatever's best for Bronny James. We all agree he should stay in school. I mean, I think he should. Like Tim said, I mean, I hope he is in the transfer portal and goes to Ohio State. You said,
wow.
The dude that left Ohio State, we talked about the other day, Big G, earlier this week.
Yeah.
Michie Johnson was at Ohio State, was a legendary Cleveland high school basketball player, played 1 year at Ohio State, and he left with South Carolina. Well, now he's coming back. He transferred back to Ohio State.
That's LeBron people. They cousins.
Yeah, no, you said that. So I think you come to Ohio State, cement a legacy in the state that you was born, that you from, that loves your dad, and you know them the bronze.
No, them some Buckeye Air Force One customs. That's why we representing versus the sign. I put the sneaker up there tonight.
Okay. Yeah, man. So go on and go to O State. Wait on your brother to come play a year with him, because I think Bryce gonna be more NBA ready than Bronny.
I agree. Big facts.
Just because he gonna grow into that bigger body like LeBron got. Right? Bryce got his mama body.
Yeah, little fella, about 6'3".
Little fella. Yeah, little fella. So go and play a year with your brother. Try and bring a championship to the O in basketball. You ain't had one since what? Bobby Knight and them in the late 60s.
Yeah. We was close. We was close with Greg Oden and them, but we didn't get it.
Yeah, they've been to a few Final Fours over the years and stuff like that. But I mean, bring a chip to the Buckeye land, just like your dad brought one to the land, to Ohio and Cleveland, and y'all family will be cemented, the legacy and history. That's what I'm telling you to do, Bronny. That's what I'm recommending you do. Stay in school, go to Ohio State, wait on your brother, and make that tourney run.
Yeah. I ain't mad at it. And I will say this last point, just my last point about this. Wherever Bronny goes, I think that he will get one of the most lucrative NIL deals based on the fact of the LeBron James factor, especially if he's at Ohio State. If he goes to Ohio State University.
He just had an NIL deal at USC, getting stuff, getting money.
I'm talking about lucrative, 5-6 million type thing.
You don't think he was at USC?
No. I think the highest NIL was Shador Sanders, and I think Shador was getting like 5.5, almost 6. So Bronny ain't got. I think Bronny got a mil or two, but not no 6.
Bronny want to leave USC because he got iPhone commercials, and he got a designer brand of underwear.
Yep.
But he leaving though because he not the big freshman on campus. Juju is.
That's big facts. Big facts.
What's Claude talking? Who's Harrison? What Harrison is Claude talking about?
Marvin.
What's Harrison being better than Bronny?
Oh, he talking about. I don't know if he talking about. He can't be talking about.
Because I said they don't got to worry about nothing.
Yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Miss no meals.
Right.
Marvin Harrison Jr. when he was at Ohio State last year had a $3 million mansion over in Pennsylvania. Google it, look it up. He had a $3 million mansion over. He already had it before he played one down in the NFL. He had a $3 million mansion over in Pennsylvania. That was his, not his mom and dad's. It was his. So, like Tate, you're absolutely correct. They ain't working for nothing. These boys got big bread.
Well, that's why these athletes can pull rank at the combine and stuff like that, like Caleb Williams did and like Marvin Harrison did. They already got money. They want to be great at football, but they ain't trying to get to the money.
Yeah.
I mean, they will take it when they get it, but they don't have to try and get to it. They're not struggling like kids was 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah, they want that long bread. They want that second, third contract legacy type thing. So I feel it. All right, fellas, we're to the end of the Homies Overtime podcast. Thank y'all for all the live chat, for you guys rocking with us. We had a lot of comments. It was going crazy over there for sure. Everybody was over there. I didn't have to
get the algorithms up. I see only 28 likes, and it was like 90 people one time. It's down to 80 something now.
You got 20. Come on, y'all. Especially on the overtime.
Everybody's still in the live chat. We got about 2 minutes. Go ahead and hit the likes. Let's see them start jumping up. Come on now.
Thank you, Afton.
Absolutely. B-Dirt, man. Kick us off with the closing thoughts, final thoughts for the Homies Overtime podcast, bro.
Well, I'm good timing. Get out here to the second half. I'm gonna warm up some pizza. I'm gonna watch the second half of this UConn Iowa game. Caitlyn Clark's only got 6 points at halftime, and they're down. So could be a barn burner. And what do we say? 20 more days, something like that for
20.
the NFL draft.
20.
Yes, sir.
Count it down.
Mm-hmm. Tim Lyons, special guest in the buildings on the Homies Overtime. Tim, what you got to say? And where can people find you at, Tim?
I just want to say thank you guys for having me on tonight's show. I appreciate it. You know, it kind of got me away from my work mode and to have some fun and relax and talk some sports with the guys. I appreciate you all. You can find me on Running Through the Jungle, and we record at least once a week. Looking forward to the football season to come, and we'll be recording a little bit more than that. You can catch me on Running Through the Jungle with Brandon and Justin Lacey. And I'm always here for you guys, and I will be poking the bear in the chat, in the homies, know-it-alls, everywhere I can be found. And one last thing I want to say is Luka MVP.
Big trash. Take boy fresh, man. Get us out of here and close us out, man, on the Homies Overtime podcast, man.
Hey, man, I agree with everything B Dirt said. Minus I don't have no cold pizza, man, or no hot pizza. I don't have no pizza, B Dirt. So I'm struggling right there, man. You know what I do got, though? Y'all know what I always keep.
The skinny.
So, get my popcorn out. And man, Tim, thanks for joining us, man. Coming over to fill in for us for that joker that's out there in them streets.
Of the streets.
Little fella, he of the streets, but he in the streets right now.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate that, Tim.
No problem.
Yeah, man, it's been a great show. A lot of comments in the live chat. A lot of people liking the show. Not literally liking the show, because I went out on my tablet here and refreshed, and we didn't go up no likes, Big G. So I don't know what you do. If Pay was here, he'd threaten somebody. He'd be like, I'm gonna put some Deshaun Watson football cards on your car.
I can't threaten the people, man. The people gonna take care of us, man. We got us. They're gonna take care of us.
So yeah, thanks for joining us. This game will be over with soon. We have a finals. I like the way I don't know if this is the first year. I thought they used to play the women's Final Four on Sunday night and the game on Tuesday, the championship game on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's Friday night Final Four, which I like.
Mm-hmm.
Give me something to look at.
Mm-hmm.
And the final is Sunday night before the men's. I like the way that works.
Yep.
But yeah, so thanks everybody for joining us. I agree with Rob Lightfoot, Xavier Lisgett in the second. Hope you're talking about going to the Steelers. I hope that's a thing.
Yeah.
But until next week, for the homies, for Big G, for Tim, and be sure to catch Tim and B Dirt on Running Through the Jungle. If you don't like the Bengals, go to their channel and give it a subscribe, give it a subscription. You don't gotta watch that mess they talking if you're a Steeler fan, but get them boys a subscription though. So yeah, until next week, man, we shooting big deuces up. Peace, everybody.
No doubt. We'll holla.
No doubt.